Hello everybody. So, been playing a bit of Jade recently and honestly, I keep thinking about how to make her better and better. Now, do keep in mind that my build is in a work in progress, so I don't have everything ready yet, but I feel like I'm in a comfortable position to show off what I have been working on. So, this is Jade. She is definitely one of the unique Warframes in the game right now. If you haven't done her quest already, do check it out. It's out there. It's very unique, and I personally very enjoyed it. And that's the only way you can get her blueprint. However, it does take a while to get her parts though, but depending on how efficient you are, it might take you anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. So you need to go to this place called Brutus. So it's an ascension mission. It's again one of a kind, very unique, but once you have that and once you have all the parts, you should be able to craft her. So this is the build I've been using on Jade, and it's definitely not ready yet. I say that, but I think as far as the Warframe build goes, I think it's more or less there. I'm still on working on trying to max my continuity and intensify mods, but well, my credits are crying in the corner, by the way. So one of the issues with Jade that I have is her low fire rate, which is kind of why you really need arcane velocity. Without this arcane, I don't think you can even play her that well. I mean, you can somewhat, but it's gonna be awful. And to make use of this, you kinda also need Arcane Avenger because her exalted weapon, well, doesn't have more than 15% critical rate. And even if you end up using like all the correct mods, like the prime mods and Pistol Gambit, you won't get above 43% crit rate. So even if you're critting, even if you're going for a crit build, you definitely need even more critical chance with Arcane Velocity. Now to show this off, I'm going to take off all my mods. I'm going to take off Furax rate. I will talk about that in a second. And I am going to chain these mods as well. Now with all of those off, just by Jade alone, yeah, that's basically her firing rate. And it's awful, dude. By the time you place like 2 of those shots, you're probably gonna be dead anyway. So that's our biggest problem that we need to solve, and there's a couple of ways we can solve that. It's kind of, as you can see, that it's kind of hard to play her without Arcane Velocity. So with Arcane Velocity and Arcane Avenger alone, you should be good enough. But if you're feeling feisty, you can try using Amalgam Furax Rate, Amalgam Furax Body Count, which gives additional 45% fire rate for secondary weapons. And you can combo that with Reinforced Bond from your companion. So you do keep in mind you need 1200 shields to get that to work. So if your companion accidentally loses shields, that's not gonna proc. So with all of those setup, you have anywhere from 225% fire rate. Now that's just to get her started. Now there's a couple of ways you can build her. The only thing that you need to worry about is making sure she does not die, because once you press R4, you will either glide down everywhere and not, if you don't get hit, you should be fine. But if you do get hit, you are not gonna be alive for long. So her ultimate gives anywhere from 35 to 50% damage reduction. And if you have enough strength, you can easily get 50% damage reduction. And we combo that with Aviator, which gives close to like 90% damage reduction. But if you're playing in Duviri or in any high level cap places, 90% might not be enough. So in that case, you might need to end up using like something like an adaptation, because you can't really use rolling guard here. You can maybe use catalyzing shields, but I would rather use adaptation at that point. So adaptation is just an extra layer to keep you alive. Now, if you don't want to use adaptation, there's another way you can try using aerodynamic. Using aerodynamic, Aviator and her ultimate alone is going to give you around 100% damage reduction. So you don't really need to worry about that, but it's totally up to you however you want to play it. So the one last thing, I do like having a bit of range because it kind of directly translates to her light's judgment. I will see about that in a moment if you're using an alternate fire. As far as the mod's weapons goes, you're probably not going to be using anything other than her glory, because this build is focused on using her ultimate for attacking with her glory. It's a pretty basic setup, guys. Nothing too different, very easy. We went for hit viral so that we can remove those pesky armor, and viral for a direct damage to health. Now we are using primed pistol gambit and prime target cracker. It just barely brings our critical chance to like 43%. Now with Arcane Avenger and a couple of other stunts, this is gonna go much higher. So apart from that, there's one more thing I do need to tell you guys. If you have any tome mods, these are the tome mods. You can buy the full set for 140 platinum from the market. But if you just want to get one of them, I highly suggest getting the bomb invocation, because the alternative fire, it gives anywhere from 20% to 60% ability strength if you manage to hit like a lot of enemies. Although do keep in mind that this does stay for 20 seconds, so you need to constantly be proccing that. And the other one that I should say you should use is Canticle, because Jade, again, she sucks at energy management. So you would rather have a better way of getting like more energy with her equilibrium. So DD does kind of work. So 12% is not a lot high, but again, so my Grimoire is not built, as you can already see. So I just have this mod set up, so I can barely use those. And we are also going to be trying for secondary outburst. Now, using secondary outburst with Jade is a bit hard, but I think I have like a very small way of using that. So we are going to be using Furax Wraith with the Incarnon mod, and the Incarnons that I use on my Furax are going to be Swordsman Shield's Flourish, then Standoff, then Flashing Bleed. Now, this is not comparable to a ceramic dagger where you can stack up to like 100 times. You can definitely use ceramic dagger if you want to use. It's totally up to you. You're going to get like consistent 180% secondary outburst buff. But I want to use something different. And the reason I want to use something different is because I want to make use of this additional fire rate more. She's going to be attacking very fast if I have this. So well, apart from this mod, we are going to use Corrupt Charge, and if you manage to get like a Riven for Furax, which has like initial combo, feel free to use that because it's going to be very good. Now with this unique trait, we get 20 initial combo here, we get 25 here, we get 30 here, so that's like 55, then 75. So I believe we get the last 24 from here. So that's 99 initial combo chance. That's just enough to give like 100% secondary outburst buff. Although that's half of what you would normally get compared to like ceramic dagger, where you can get a max of like 100, anywhere from 180 to 240%. But we can work with 100%. We don't have to min max this time because we're fixing our build. As far as our companion goes, we are using the Nautilus with the Vergless. It just pairs very nicely. We are going to be using Sin Deconstruct for some extra energy orbs. We are going to be using Aerial Bond because we are going to be airborne a lot longer, so it's going to definitely work very nicely with the Nautilus. It says it's good, so it's good. It's probably going to be good. So Reinforced Bond is the primary jewel of this build, and that pairs really nicely with Calculated Redirection. So you do need to max that mod out to make use of the 1200 shields. As you can see here, the 1225 shields. The Manifold Bond, you can either use that one or you can use something else, but I like having the companion constantly shoot out beams, so I have just kept it there. Everything else is the same as before. So Vergless, I am running like a viral setup because I'm gonna be stripping a lot of armor anyway. So Vergless is gonna be doing your damage to HP. I do have a Vigilante mod here, but feel free to go whatever here as you see fit. Now the Archon Shards, I'm still debating on what to get. I'm like 30% of the way there. So I probably need 2 more weeks to probably get it to like max, but So far, I've been thinking of getting like 2 red Tau Forged Crimson Archon Shards and 3 Tau Forged Topaz Archon Shards. Although I might skip doing that and just go 2 of the Topaz ones and 2 of the red ones and keep like 1 Amber Archon Shard for the casting speed, because we are going to be casting our first skill a lot, and the additional casting speed is going to help us a lot because we are going to be using our 4 constantly to get down and get back up for the secondary outburst. Now with those all out of the way, I want to talk about her energy issues. Now we have like 85% efficiency here, so highly suggest going Zenuric because the energy pulse is going to be very effective on her. And if you want to min-max, you can also try using the operator's ability, but let's be honest, who's going to do that in the middle of a fight? But energy pulse is going to be very good for her because you're not going to be using your operator much anyway, so might as well get some more energy while you're in your glory on high mode. So let's test our build on our favorite sandbagging region called Gabby series on Steel Path. So we are going to be fighting infested here. So one of the things that I do like to do is swap to the Deadbringer thingy for more weapon damage. That does give you a lot of good buff, and that just helps you start stacking up kills very fast. So I'm using my Torrid here, as you can see. I'm already proccing my combat discipline, so I'm gonna use my first skill, try to heal myself while trying to make sure I get enough energy for everything else. So once I get maxed on energy, I will probably switch to my ultimate. Right, so I am more or less ready right now, so I want to look for a nice place for hitting mobs. So I am hitting extremely fast, and you guys probably can't see the pellets because I have changed the accent color to black, but trust me guys, it's just saving your eyes from the long term. If you're constantly playing Jade, her green color is very bad for your eyes. So swap that into something that's very useful for your eyes. So one thing that you do need to worry about is Jade is just trying to recast her third skill. And to activate secondary outburst, all you do is switch to your secondary, and it's gonna stay there for 30 seconds. So all you need to do for refreshing that buff is just press 4 and go back up again, and it's gonna refresh right away. So I have like 100% buff from secondary outburst. I have lots of Firerate. As you can see, I'm hitting very fast. Now I like having like a combination of normal attack and alternate attack on Jade, so I can also use the alternate mode to burst out enemies, because that's generally how I will encourage you to play, because it does a lot of damage. Although do keep in mind that her alternate fire mode costs a lot of energy, so if you're low on energy, maybe not try to burst them. So basically the rotation on Jade is just casting her third skill, because her second skill is gonna refresh every time you get kills anyway. And once every in a blue moon, you can try to use her first skill and try to detonate them. That's gonna do a ton of damage and literally nuke out rooms if you're lucky. And once your secondary outburst buff goes away, all you need to do is press 4, fall down, then press 4 again, and that's gonna instantly refresh your buff, and you will be doing a ton of damage in no time. So that's the only micromanagement you need to do with Jade. Although do keep in mind, if you're flying very high, you might need to fall down and try to collect the energy orbs, because that's the only issue with her. I do know I have a lot of work to do on Jade. It's only getting started, but I'm excited to see how she works, how she fares in late game. I still haven't tried her in level 999 stuff. I wanna take her to like level cap at least once and see how she fares there. So anyway guys, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you again in the next one. Bye.